Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Yoon Jung-min. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol is now in Washington for the meeting with his counterparts from the U.S. and Japan in the coming hours at Camp David. They are expected to release 3 documents that underline a strengthening in their three-way cooperation. Our foreign affairs correspondent Bae Eun-ji starts us off this evening.
President Yoon Suk Yeol has arrived in Washington a day ahead of his summit with U.S. President Joe Biden and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. The presidential jet landed at Joint Base Andrews, a U.S. Air Force base near Washington, D.C. on Thursday local time. Shortly after his arrival, he held a telephone conversation with Biden, who offered his condolences over the recent death of Yoon's father, who died on Tuesday at the age of 92. During the call, Yoon thanked Biden and First Lady Jill Biden for a condolence letter and flowers sent to his hotel room ahead of his visit. On Friday, the leaders of the 3 countries will gather at Camp David, the U.S. presidential retreat in Maryland, where they are expected to discuss strengthening and even regularizing three-way cooperation, especially on security and economic issues. They're expected to sign 3 documents, including 2 joint statements and a separate piece that's expected to contain details of how the 3 countries will work more closely together to deal with threats. The first joint statement, the Camp David Principles, will serve as sustainable guidelines for future trilateral cooperation. The second, the Spirit of Camp David, will encompass the vision and implementation strategies of the cooperation between the 3 countries. And a senior official from Seoul's presidential office confirmed Friday that there will be a separate document, the Commitment to Consult, an understanding that they will share information and discuss how to respond in the case of provocations that pose a threat to all 3 countries. The official said this could encompass a wide range of threats, such as those involving security, economics, and cyber, adding that this means the 3 will be able to share data in the case of a missile threat from North Korea or a trade dispute. Meanwhile, the White House also announced Thursday local time that President Biden had moved to Camp David for the summit. It highlighted that this is the first time that Biden has invited foreign leaders there, which demonstrates the importance being placed on the relationship with South Korea and Japan. The trilateral meeting will be the 3 countries' first standalone summit, as previous three-way talks have only taken place on the sidelines of other international conferences. While at Camp David, Yoon will also hold separate bilateral meetings with Biden and Kishida. Bae Eun-ji, Arirang News.